From quiet towns to deep woods, Indiana holds mysterious stories that refuse to fade. Today, we're bringing 12 haunting legends back to life. Number 1. Diana of the Dunes. Along the windswept shores of Lake Michigan, visitors to Indiana Dunes State Park have reported seeing a mysterious woman walking the beach. Dressed in white, with flowing hair and bare feet, she appears just before sunset, then disappears into the sand without a trace. Locals call her Diana of the Dunes, and her story has been passed down for generations. The legend is rooted in truth. Diana was the nickname of Alice Mabel Gray, a brilliant woman who left behind the noise of city life in the early 1900s to live alone in the dunes. She bathed in the lake, read philosophy, and lived simply. People were drawn to her mysterious way of life. But after falling in love with a troubled man, her story took a dark turn, ending with her death in 1925 under suspicious circumstances. After her passing, strange sightings began. People claimed to see a ghostly woman walking the shoreline, especially on misty mornings or at dusk. Campers have heard footsteps in the sand when no one else is around. Others have seen a figure watching from the dunes before, vanishing into thin air. Some say she's a restless spirit. Others believe she's still protecting the land she once loved. Today, Diana is remembered not just as a ghost, but as a symbol of independence and the deep connection between people and nature. And if you ever visit the dunes during the quiet hours of sunrise or sunset, keep your eyes on the shoreline. You may see a figure walking where the waves meet the sand, still searching for peace. Number 2. The Cley Monster. In the dense woods of Jennings County, deep within the Cley Fish and Wildlife Area, stories have long circulated about a mysterious creature that walks on two legs, towering over the brush. Described as nearly 7 feet tall, covered in thick dark hair, and with glowing red eyes, the creature is known by locals as the Cley Monster. Reports of the beast began in the early 2000s, when hunters and hikers claimed to see a massive, ape-like figure moving through the trees. Some found broken branches at odd heights. Others discovered dead animals with no sign of struggle. The creature was always quiet, too quiet for something its size, but the smell it left behind was foul and impossible to forget. Those who've encountered the Cley Monster speak of a deep unease, like being watched by something wild, intelligent, and ancient. The air grows still. Birds go silent. Some have turned to see glowing eyes peering at them from the trees, only for the figure to vanish before they can react. A few believe it's a cryptid left behind by time. Others say it's nature's spirit, warning humans to stay out of its home. Even now, seasoned outdoorsmen hesitate to wander too far into Cley's thickest trails after dark. And if you find yourself in those woods, with no sound but your own footsteps, keep watch. Because in the quietest corners of Indiana's wilderness, something might still be walking, something we were never meant to find. Number 3. The Beast of Busco. In the quiet town of Churubusco, Indiana, a legend snapped out of the water in 1949 and captured the attention of the entire country. It began when 2 farmers claimed to see a giant turtle in Folk Lake, so large they said it was as big as a dining room table. The town quickly gave it a name, the Beast of Busco, or simply Oscar. Word spread fast, crowds gathered. Reporters came from across the country. Some people even tried to drain the lake to catch the creature, using pumps and building levees. But Oscar was never caught. Every time he surfaced, he disappeared again, leaving behind ripples, broken nets, and a whole lot of mystery. While skeptics called it a hoax or a case of mistaken identity, others were convinced. Sightings continued for years. Locals described Oscar as having a massive shell, thick legs, and intelligent eyes that peered just above the surface before vanishing. To this day, some believe he's still out there, hidden beneath the murky waters. Now, the town of Churubusco celebrates the legend with an annual festival called Turtle Days, and Oscar has become a beloved piece of Indiana folklore. And though no one has seen him in years, if you stand by the lake long enough, you might still see the water ripple, just enough to wonder if the beast is watching back. Number 4. The 100-Step Cemetery. Nestled in the woods near Cloverland, Indiana, the 100-Step Cemetery has drawn ghost hunters and curious visitors for decades. It looks like a typical country graveyard, quiet, overgrown, and a little forgotten. But legend says if you walk up the stone steps at midnight, something chilling will happen. The story goes that as you climb, you must count each step out loud, all the way to the top. If you reach 100, you'll see a ghostly undertaker appear, waiting in the darkness. He will silently show you a vision, a glimpse of your own death. No words are spoken, and the image disappears as quickly as it came. But the creepiest part? On the way back down, you're supposed to count the steps again. If the number is different than before, it means the vision was real, and the curse has already begun. Some say they counted 99. Others got 101. A few turned and ran before they ever found out. Today, the steps are worn and weathered, but the legend remains strong. Visitors have reported cold air, strange shadows, and the sound of footsteps behind them, even when they're alone. Whether it's just a spooky tale or something truly paranormal, one thing is clear. At 100-Step Cemetery, every step might bring you closer to something you don't want to see. Number 5. The Greenclawed Beast. In the summer of 1955, a terrifying encounter took place in the waters of the Ohio River near Evansville, Indiana. A woman named Naomi Johnson was swimming when something reached out from below and grabbed her leg, pulling her underwater. She fought her way back to the surface, terrified and covered in scratches. That something became known as the Greenclawed Beast. Naomi and her friend said the creature had a strong grip and green, hairy skin with claws that dug into her flesh. She described it as half human, half beast, and large enough to drag her easily under the water. The story made headlines, and even the Air Force questioned her afterward, adding to the mystery. Some said it might have been a mutated animal. Others thought it could be a river-dwelling cryptid, similar to the legendary Gill Man from old monster movies. Strangely, Naomi's bruises stayed on her leg longer than normal, and she continued to feel uneasy around water for years. No one else has had quite the same encounter since, but some say the creature is still down there waiting. To this day, the Ohio River remains a place of mystery, and while most swimmers come and go without incident, there are always whispers about shadows in the deep, sudden chills in warm water, and the possibility that the Greenclawed Beast still calls the river home. Number 6. The Devil's Road. Tucked away in Henry County, Indiana, There's an old stretch of road known by locals as the Devil's Road. Winding through thick woods and farmland, it looks ordinary by day, but after dark, strange things are said to happen. Some say it's cursed. Others believe it's a place where something evil once walked and never left. Drivers at night report phantom headlights, which suddenly appear in the rearview mirror but vanish the moment you pull over. Some have seen a black dog with glowing red eyes watching from the roadside. And there are even stories of a woman in white drifting across the pavement just before the bend. The legends go back decades. Some believe the area was once used for rituals or secret gatherings, giving the road its dark energy. Others say it's tied to an old farmhouse that burned down nearby, with no clear cause. Whatever the origin, one thing's for sure: people feel uneasy the moment their tires hit the gravel. Today, many locals avoid the road at night altogether. Those who dare to drive it keep their windows up and their headlights bright. Because on Devil's Road, you're never quite alone, and whatever's watching doesn't want you to stay for long. Number 7. The Angola Theater Ghost. In the small town of Angola, Indiana, sits the historic Brokaw Theater, a classic movie house that has been entertaining locals since the early 1900s. But while the films change, one thing remains the same: the ghost of the projectionist who's said to haunt the building, still making sure the show goes on. Staff and guests have reported flickering lights, slamming doors, and cold spots, especially near the projection booth. Some say they've heard footsteps pacing above the theater during quiet moments when no one is up there. The figure of a man in old work clothes has been seen in the aisles, only to vanish when approached. Legend says the ghost is a former projectionist who died suddenly, but loved his job so much that his spirit never left the theater. He's not mean or threatening, but he definitely makes his presence known. Employees say he's most active when the theater is empty, like he's checking to make sure everything's running right. To this day, the Brokaw Theater continues to show movies, and the ghost remains part of its charm. Locals have come to accept him as part of the experience. And if you ever feel a breeze in a room with no windows, or catch a shadow moving across the seats, you might just be sitting next to Angola's most loyal movie fan. Number 8. The Mud Mermaids of the Ohio River. In the late 1800s, strange reports began to surface from the banks of the Ohio River near Vevey, Indiana. Workers along the water claimed they had seen strange, half-human creatures crawling from the muddy shoreline, with webbed hands, scaled bodies, and long, sharp claws. Locals began calling them the Mud Mermaids. Unlike the beautiful mermaids of fairy tales, these beings were described as frightening and wild. Witnesses said they screeched like animals and moved quickly across the mud before slipping back into the river. Some believed they were trying to communicate. Others thought they were simply defending their territory. The sightings were even reported in local newspapers at the time. Though scientists were never able to find solid proof, the reports were taken seriously by many. The story faded over time, but some believe the creatures are still there, lurking in the deep, slow-moving waters, waiting for a quiet night to rise again. Modern-day rivergoers occasionally report odd movements in the water or strange sounds near the banks. Today, the Mud Mermaids remain one of Indiana's strangest and most unique legends. They may not appear often, but their story still bubbles beneath the surface of the Ohio River. And if you're ever standing alone near the water after dark, listen carefully. You just might hear something rising from the mud. Number 9. The Whispering Bridge, Avon, Indiana. Just west of Indianapolis, the town of Avon is home to one of Indiana's most haunted spots, the Whispering Bridge. This old stone railroad bridge, built in the early 1900s, carries more than just trains. It carries a legend of sorrow, whispers, and a mother's cry that has lasted for generations. The most well-known story tells of a woman who was walking across the bridge with her baby when she lost her footing. In a tragic moment, both mother and child fell. Ever since, people claim to hear soft whispers beneath the bridge, sometimes calling out names, sometimes just the faint sound of a lullaby. Drivers passing under the bridge at night report hearing tapping on their windows or feeling sudden chills. Some say their radios cut out when driving through. Others believe the woman's spirit walks the tracks, searching for her lost child. Even those who don't believe in ghosts admit the area feels strangely heavy and quiet. To this day, locals still warn travelers not to stop beneath the bridge after dark. And if you ever drive through Avon and hear a soft voice calling your name from the shadows, don't answer. Because legend says the Whispering Bridge always speaks to someone, and it never forgets. Number 10. The Milra Monster, Columbus, Indiana. In the fall of 1974, the peaceful town of Columbus, Indiana, was shaken by a terrifying encounter in Milra Park. Witnesses described seeing a large reptilian-like creature, nearly 7 feet tall, with glowing eyes and wet, scaly skin. It came out of the shadows and into Indiana legend as the Milra Monster. The first sightings were made by couples walking through the park who said they saw something massive standing by the trees. It didn't walk like a man, and it wasn't an animal anyone recognized. Panic spread quickly. People avoided the park. News crews arrived. Police searched the area, but found nothing. Still, the reports kept coming. Soon, more people claimed to hear strange growls and footsteps in the brush, especially after dark. Some believed it was a creature hiding in the old tunnels near the park. Others thought it might be a hoax, but those who saw it never forgot the glowing eyes staring back at them from the woods. Though the monster hasn't been seen in years, its story still haunts Columbus. The city even embraced the legend with local artwork and merchandise celebrating the mystery. And every time the fog rolls into Milra Park, some still wonder if the monster is out there, watching, waiting, and ready to walk again. Number 11. The Prairie Beast. In the quiet farmlands of Tipton County, strange things have been seen just beyond the fields. For over a century, farmers have spoken of a shadowy figure they call the Prairie Beast, a large panther-like creature with jet-black fur and glowing yellow eyes. Though big cats aren't known to live in Indiana, this one doesn't seem to care. The legend began when livestock started turning up mysteriously injured or missing, with claw marks on barn doors and strange tracks in the soil. At night, some farmers claimed to hear deep growls from the tree line, followed by the sound of something heavy sprinting through the cornfields. Guns were loaded, doors were locked, but the beast was never caught. Those who claim to have seen it say it moves like a cat, but stands taller than a dog, with powerful legs and an unblinking stare. The air turns cold when it's near, and animals grow restless. Some believe it's a spirit of the land, while others think it's a real creature that simply hides better than anything else. Even today, Stories of the Prairie Beast haven't gone away. Farmers still whisper about it after dark, and travelers through Tipton's back roads sometimes feel like something is watching from the tall grass. Whether beast or legend, it's a part of Indiana that won't be forgotten. Number 12. Steppe Cemetery. Deep in the Morgan-Monroe State Forest, surrounded by thick woods and winding trails, lies the Steppe Cemetery, a small graveyard with a very big reputation. For years, it's been known as one of the most haunted places in Indiana. But the spirit that lingers here isn't loud or frightening. It's sorrowful and still. Visitors often speak of a woman in black who appears beside a child's grave. Some believe she was a grieving mother who visited the site so often in life that she simply never left. They say she can still be seen sitting on a stone bench, head bowed, as if in mourning. And if you get too close, she disappears into the trees. At night, the cemetery takes on a different feeling. People have reported hearing soft crying, footsteps in the leaves, and even the sound of whispering in the wind. Flashlights flicker, cameras fail, and a heavy sadness seems to settle over the entire clearing. Yet there's something peaceful, too, like the forest is guarding her memory. Steppe Cemetery has become a quiet legend, visited by ghost hunters, hikers, and those who are just curious. But those who go looking for the woman in black should know. She doesn't want to scare anyone. She just wants to be left in peace. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.